Hey guys, thank you so much for joining me on Their Fight Story. We have Scott Kent with Lion Fight. How are you doing today, Scott?
Iggy, I am wonderful. How are you doing?
Fabulous, guys. What is next with a Lion Fight? I see you guys have a fight October 8th.
Yeah, we're going back to California finally. We'd scheduled this fight probably 2 years ago, pre-COVID. We had the date rescheduled 2 or 3 times, and it looks like this one's a go. We're a couple weeks out, October 8th at the Commerce Casino in Los Angeles. So we're excited to be back on the West Coast because we've been on every other coast here in the last 6 months, right?
Yes, you have. You've been like all over the world. How, I mean, just give me like a play by play. Like, how did you even get to that point where you were just gonna like bing, bing, bing? So it's not even like Carmen San Diego, where are you? It's like Lion Fight, where are you? Oh my God, I just like showed my age. That's okay.
Well, a lot of it comes down to where we can go. We ended up doing it the first part of the year, a bunch of shows in Kansas, just because that was the only place that would allow fans. And I wanted to go back to Sicily to do the show. And we had a partner in Scotland that was real excited about bringing us out there. And then our Boston shows are becoming legendary out there. So we booked 3 in a row. I think we were 3 countries in 4 weeks. And it's a lot of traveling, it's a lot of stress, but it sure makes it worth it when you see the turnout like we did at the House of Blues in Boston. I mean, you were there. Visually, the show was amazing. We had 6 fights, 5 were stoppages. Everybody loved the card, and it's just been really well accepted, and that's what makes it all worth it.
Yeah, I mean, you were talking about like the stress. How is that like on your body? Because like you're on the go, 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 go nonstop. You don't give your body a chance to recover.
Well, the advantage is I'm 27 years old, so I'm able to weather just about anything. You take advantage of like ZQL on the plane, a lot of vitamins, a lot of things like that, and naps. That's the other really important thing, is if you can squeeze in a power nap, it seems to help a lot.
I don't know how you do it. I don't. Because I mean, because you have to plan, right? You're planning all these fights. They're all over the place. Now, when you're planning, obviously you're not there. So you can't really know logistically where everything is. So
Well, and I've got a great team, Iggy. Scott Zer does an amazing job. I couldn't pull off these shows without him. He's the guy that's kind of behind the curtain, making all of the logistical decisions, helping with the flights, helping with the matchmaking. And a lot of it is me just setting up the venues, going, doing a lot of press and stuff like that, and showing up at the event. And there's always things that go south at the last minute. There just is in this business, and you just got to kind of keep your hat on straight and not go crazy. And usually, as long as it looks good on TV, we're absolutely satisfied.
just on TV.
Just on TV. Behind the scenes, we're going crazy, right? But as long as it looks good, yeah.
You in the last couple of shows, I've noticed that you have a new sponsor. Youth, is it? Can you tell us a little bit more about them?
Sure. Well, I think it's really important from a branding standpoint, whether it's, the UFC or whoever, looking at branding has got to be your most important thing you're focusing on. One of the ways to do that, obviously, is with the atmospheric elements that you have at the event itself that people are seeing. The other is social media. And the third really of that is apparel, is the equipment. Everybody's looking at, well, what kind of gloves are those? What kind of shorts are those? So we've partnered up with Youth, which is a partner of Fairtex in Thailand, the biggest equipment and apparel company in Thailand. They approached us about this partnership. So we're doing, the really cool thing about this is that they've agreed to do fight specific gloves and shorts for every event. and we're going to make them available for people to buy. So the LA shows are going to have like the LA landscape on it. The London shows will have, you know, the British flag and some other imagery representative of that particular country. And I don't know of anybody else that's doing that. And launching with that is a whole line of, you know, everything from sports bras, track suits, heavy bags, T-shirts. So, um,
Ooh.
oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah. I'm not the best model for it, trust me. But on a model, it would look much better. But point is, it's all about branding, and you know, it's nice to see. I pulled up some social media posts the other day, and people were wearing lion fight stuff in Thailand, and you know, you're getting the message out, and you're getting the brand out there, and I think that's extremely important.
I know that sure makes it look like you've been working out. And I know you haven't been able to with all this traveling that you've been doing.
Well, you can't Photoshop live video. So in between like naps, I go to the gym and lift weights, and I have Master Chan who holds pads for me. So again, at 27, I'm still doing it. Uh,
I
oh
knew
boy,
it. I knew there was a secret to it.
that's it. That's it.
Now you have an amazing team working with you. Tell me how has it been just going from place to place and adjusting because things happen last minute where fights get canceled, or even even on the show itself something happens and now it doesn't go through. How is it that you guys are all like on the same page working together making sure that everything is on point, not only with your team but also with the the location? I don't even know how to the
Yeah,
venue.
yeah. Yeah, a lot of it is just having the teams, you know, people that you have some familiarity with. We've got a new
Mhm.
production company now that's done international fights for us that hadn't done international fights. So they're getting their feet wet in that. We've got a commentating team in England, you know, Dave Fensom and Danny Kendricks, who do an amazing job on our European shows. And all of our guys here locally, you know, Scott Zur, again, he does an amazing job. You know, our commentator, Sean Wheelock and Nathan Corbett, um, Mike Vale, who's the ring announcer. We all know this now. So you're getting to that point where it's almost natural, you know, timing and things on when to cut to an interview, when to go to a commercial break. A lot of it is just repetition and becoming familiar with it. And I think since we've had those same guys doing it, the production value has gone up significantly. And then all the back of the house stuff, whether it's Scott Howard or Scott Zur, you know, you have to have those guys that they're staging everybody right, that everybody's wrapped. There's just so
Mhm.
many moving parts that nobody sees in the broadcast. Commission issues, you know, weight issues, drama issues. But again, the important thing in the production is that the optics are that it's a top flight professional Muay Thai promotion, that people see something they've probably never seen before. And
Mhm.
the show in Boston was a great representation of that. Seeing world class Muay Thai, you know, having male and female fighters in the LA
Mhm.
show. You know, we've got an exciting female fight lined up. And we've got a two-time Lumpini Stadium champion fighting in the
Mhm.
main event. So, you know, we're bringing in the best fighters in the world. And I think people can certainly see the difference.
Oh yeah, they definitely see the difference because at the last show, well, that I went to in Boston, I had people commenting on how you know there are a lot of people, a lot of promotions out here that do Muay Thai, but it doesn't compare to Lion Fight. And they even said it. They're like, "Oh my gosh, like I didn't even want to go to the show because they were comparing it to the other shows that they've seen." And they're like, "We've never seen anything like this before." And I'm like, "Oh no, no, no. Like you can't compare to Lion Fight. Like just don't even bother. You have to see Lion Fight and then you can determine what you want about Muay Thai because a lot of promotions are cutting corners like, "Oh, okay, yeah, we'll do Muay Thai, but they'll call it Muay Thai, but it's really just another level of kickboxing, and it's not really kickboxing. It's they cut back on so much, but they still call it Muay Thai, so people are expecting to see it, and it's not. But then when you see lion fight, like for instance, my first experience with lion fight, I never knew what Muay Thai was until I saw the show and I was there live. And it's like, oh my gosh, so all these people around here are calling this Muay Thai, but it's not really Muay Thai. It's just a knockoff, you can say.
Well, that's a great point. And one of the discussions I have with a lot of these European promotions, and I think it's kind of solidified our position as the premier Muay Thai promotion out there, is a lot of these promotions will do a kickboxing fight and then a Muay Thai fight and then a 3-round fight and then a 5-round. And I just think it's exhausting for a
Mhm.
consumer, for a casual fan who doesn't understand the sport. Whereas I'm going to say, listen, we're going to do 6 fights. They're 5 3-minute rounds. It's all full rules Muay Thai. There are no kickboxing fights. There are no MMA fights. We're not trying to change the sport to accommodate a particular fighter. Um, on the East Coast, there are a lot of promotions out there, but
Mhm.
I think that's why we have the Steve Walkers and the Chip Pollards, as everybody
Mhm.
realizes, that it is not just the best in the United States, but it's really the best in the world. So when I go to Sicily or I go to Scotland or I go to England, everybody knows lion fight. And we
Mhm.
get every day, we get fighters from all over the world that want to fight for lion fight. And take a look at Steve Walker. Steve, this guy is just on a whole nother level. And I read something the other day on
Mhm.
people were calling him the Anderson Silva of lion fight. And he's getting to that point where nobody's really pushed him. He's undefeated. He's at a
Mhm.
whole nother level. The guy's a physical marvel,
Mhm.
and yet he's the nicest guy in the planet. So it's a great marketable mix for us. Guys like Jake Peacock, amazing personal stories. Those are the kinds of things that are going to transcend this sport from, a regional or maybe just a national audience to an international brand, and that's what we've always focused on.
Yeah, and one thing that I've noticed with lion fight and Muay Thai is that you guys get the best of the best. You guys aren't trying to pat anybody's record. You guys aren't trying to make somebody feel better. Like, oh yeah, the fans want this fight and this fight, but you guys know that it's really not. It's not fair, to either one, because one is just going to get an easy fight. The other one is going to be challenged to the max. That who knows what the outcome is going to be. It's probably not going to be any good. But you guys look at all of the aspects of it, and it's not when you see lion fight, you're going to get the best show.
And I get to again defer to Scott Zer. He does a
Mhm.
lot of the matchmaking, and you're right. It's Muay Thai. It's not
Mhm.
boxing. And I think one of the reasons where boxing has failed in the last several years is you would, spend your money and you'd go watch a fight, and it would be some guy just building his record,
Mhm.
and it was so disillusioning. And even when you're watching it on TV, you can just tell in the first round that it's a mismatch. In Muay Thai, not just because it's the way it's done in Muay Thai, but when you throw in the element of like elbows and these other things that can change a fight in a split second, you know, most of these fights, don't have, I don't know who's going to win these fights. I don't have a clue. And seeing these two evenly matched fighters, male or female, go at it. We did the show in Scotland with Amy Perney and Laura Fernandez, an absolute 5-round war. And it was a toss up. Anybody could have won that fight. And people were just amazed at the level of skill that these girls have.
Mhm.
Um, so again, the sport's definitely trending in the right direction. Everybody's talking about it. The retail thing's falling in place. We're going to start looking at dates for 2022, and Scott Zerl continue to put together these amazing fights.
Yeah, I mean, we all look forward to it. We all look forward to lion fight and when it's going to happen and who's going to be on the show and what are, because you never know what you're going to get. Have you ever been at a show, or has there been a fight that has completely stood out for you throughout these years?
There's been a lot of them, and really for different reasons.
Yes.
I think our show that we did downtown at Fremont Street, it was the D's 1 year anniversary. They did us one night, and I think Kid Rock did the next night. But to see Lion Fight visually
Mhm.
on the entire canopy down on Fremont Street, Chris Cyborg, Kevin Ross, Cosmo Alexander, just a stacked card. Tetsuya Yamato. It was one of the, had the mayor of Las Vegas was there, and they were giving keys to the city and all this stuff. And I think that
Mhm.
meant a lot because visually it was so powerful and it was such an iconic spot. But, we've done the LA Coliseum, we've done
Mhm.
2 shows there. And sometimes I just shake my head and I can't believe we've done all of these things
Mhm.
because you get in this mindset of what's next, and we keep looking forward. But individual fights, Yodson Clay and Chike Lindsay kind of sticks to me because he was an American fighter. Nobody really knew him. And Yodson Clay is a legend. And Chike gave him everything he could handle.
Mhm.
We've had Sockman who fought with a broken forearm and a broken eye socket and beat Cosmo Alexander. Stephen Richards, who fought with a broken arm that you could see him. I mean, these are the kinds of
Mhm.
emotional things that for me as a promoter, just reaffirm everything I've always talked about, and fighters coming up after the show. And you've been at these after parties where
Mhm.
the fighters, as they come limping over and just are so appreciative of the opportunity that we've given them this. And I keep telling them, these kids are going to remember this stuff the rest of their life. You're affecting people's lives. You're creating opportunities. And, it's never been a money grab for me. It's always been
Mhm.
about life experiences, and the rest of it kind of takes care of itself. But for me personally, I'm very much at peace with the fact that we've had this opportunity to bring this amazing sport and touch so many people's lives,
Mhm.
and in all different ways. I met you, for God's sakes, right?
Yes, it was the best day ever.
Ever.
And now you can't get rid of me.
I know, there you're like gum on my shoe. No, I absolutely love hanging out with you, and it's always a delight having you at the shows. And everybody seems to really like you, which I've never understood. But
I don't either. I think you know what? It's because Benny's not around, so they have no choice but to give somebody love and support. So they're like, oh, I guess we'll give it to her.
maybe that's it. That could be it. I
It
don't know.
is. It is. Now, is there anything that you would like to share with us before we conclude with this interview?
Well, thanks again for all your support. Again, it was great seeing you in Boston. If you can make the show in LA October 8th, you can get your tickets on Eventbrite. You can go through lionfight.com and get your tickets. If you can't make it, please get on UFC Fight Pass, support Muay Thai, support Lion Fight. And then we're in London on October 23rd, same thing. You can get your tickets through our website and check it out on UFC Fight Pass. It's an amazing experience, and we're all committed. These people that love this sport, we're really committed to um, bringing this to a much wider audience.
And where can they get the apparel?
Lionfight.com. We have a link there.
Ooh.
And again, this is something that hasn't been done. The gloves will be fight specific. The t-shirts, the shorts, same gloves that the fighters are going to be wearing. And I spoke to the representative for youth yesterday, and they are ecstatic. They're talking about Lion Fight coming to Thailand, and just lots of things that doors are really opening for us. Very exciting.
Yay. Thank you so much. I will see you soon.
Okay.
Take
Thanks,
care.
Iggy. Bye bye.
Bye.